You know, I actually do believe Sony didn't want to do this.
Excuse you, bro? They didn't want to do it? Oh, I'm sorry. Obviously they didn't. Do you know what really highlights someone as a fanboy? So Bruvian's going to tell you. It's when the same situation can happen to two separate entities, and your reaction to each of them will be very, very different depending on your allegiance to said company. So, for example, the price increases of the Xbox and of the PlayStation. Now, I know what it's all about, you know what it's all about, and they know what it's all about. It's greed. You can say tariffs, you can say whatever you want. Ultimately, they are trying to gauge how much we're willing to pay going into next generation. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? They are conditioning us to pay a mega premium for old hardware right now. We are paying more for systems 5 years plus old than we ever have before. I mean, typically, you'd be able to grab the current gen now for far cheaper than it was when it launched. The launch price is always the highest price, but now they're conditioning us to accept a higher premium for old hardware so that when the new hardware comes out, it's not out the question that we get hit with a super mega premium price tag, and it's like, we've done that by not speaking with our wallets and by buying all this shit. You know, when the Pro came out for like, what, 850, whatever it cost? An absolute fortune for what it was. Some people was buying it, right? But anyway, more to the point, let me introduce my unwilling guest today, Muscle-Bound Gamer. Now, where are the muscles? I've yet to see them. I don't know what the name is all about, but we're not here to discuss that. Now, MBG over here has discussed the price raising issue about the PlayStation and about the Xbox, and his reactions and narrative regarding each one's price increase, well, it's interesting and really highlights a certain hypocrisy in his views. Anyway, I will let the man take it away. Let's just go through what he says and see if we can spot the fanboy bias as he waffles on.
Look at the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte edition. Okay. The most expensive version outside of this one is the regular disc model Series X. They're selling it for $650. $650 for a disc model Series X.
Sorry, MBG. Sorry, bro. You were saying?
Now, I want to ask you, what is the difference between that model and the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black? It has an extra terabyte of storage, yet they're charging $150 more for that version. $150 more, dude. It's $800. That tells you all you need to know. This is about more so profit margins and making sure that if we only sell 100 consoles, we're making good money on every console sold. That's what this is about. And anybody who can't see that, I fear may be in some kind of weird denial. An Xbox Series console, a Series X, for $800 and justifying it by saying it has an extra terabyte of storage, you are out of your mind. If you are sitting here convincing yourself it's purely just tariffs. Like, it's not. It's very obviously not. So, you know, it's funny because I posted this on Twitter, just simply putting the new prices out there, and I immediately see people say, well, Sony's going to do this too, you know. It's not just Microsoft. And it's like, bro, save it. Like, what is up with these people, man?
You know what, MBG? You might be very boring to listen to, bro, but you're right. The man is right. Give him his flowers. The man's right. It is about profitability. It is about earning as much money per console sold. You're exactly right. It's nothing else. It's about money. But I hope you keep that same energy when PlayStation does it. Surely a man of his integrity, a man with a platform as large as Lord Musclebound Gamer, surely he is he claims he's unbiased, right? Doesn't he? Surely he keeps the same energy when it comes to PlayStation, right? Surely if when Microsoft do it, it's obviously for profit. That means clearly when PlayStation does it, it's about the same thing, right? Right, MBG?
I actually do believe Sony didn't want to do this.
Oh, excuse you, bro. They didn't want to do it. Oh, I'm sorry. Obviously they didn't. I mean, obviously the corporate overlords over at Microsoft just want to milk and take from you. You know, the company with Game Pass, which comes with EA Play and offers tons of pro consumer services. They're the ones who want to milk everything, but not PlayStation. No, not them. No, they of course, they don't want to take more money from you. They don't want to do it. It's not their fault. It's never. Sony? PlayStation? Taking money from... I don't know what PlayStation you're talking about. That would never happen. They don't want to do it. They had guns to their heads. It wasn't their fault. Of course not, MBG. Well, let's just hear him try and explain why PlayStation would never want to do this. Because, I mean, PlayStation would never do such a thing. I'm a madman for even contemplating it. For even thinking it. Yes, look, Microsoft do actually want to take money from people. This is what they do. But so did PlayStation, bro. They didn't want to do it. Stop it, man.
There's going to be no way around the headlines that Sony just increased the price of the PS5.
Why should there be? When Xbox raises the price, you're talking about it. The media are talking about it. There's no escaping it when Xbox does it. So why are you looking so sad and defeated right now? Like, there's going to be no escaping the narrative. We can't escape it. They're all going to be talking about it. Why does this offend you and hurt you so much when you would jump with joy at the opportunity to talk about it if it was happening and when it does and when it has happened to the Xbox? Why is that, Muscle-Bound Gamer? We know why. Fanboy.
I do believe that Sony didn't want to do this because, again, it's going to dampen their sales a little bit. You would even think that Sony would want to wait until like next year to announce this, closer to something like GTA 6 releasing. Could they lower the prices if the situation with the tariffs and, just economically speaking, if things change, would they change the pricing? I think they would. Yeah. I think the moment Sony can decrease the price, they will. But I do think that this is an effort to maintain breaking even on their consoles or just losing very little money on each console sold.
So let me get this right, just so I'm understanding you, MBG. When Xbox raised the price tag of the Xbox, it wasn't the tariffs. It couldn't possibly be the tariffs, and anyone who says the word tariff is in denial. Yet when PlayStation does it, as soon as the tariffs are not an issue, they will gladly, most definitely reduce the price. As soon as it's economically viable, they will do it. When Xbox does it, they're just trying to make as much profit per sale as possible. Trying to get as much money per system sold as possible. Which is right, by the way. When PlayStation does it, though... Oh, well, you see, guys, this is just PlayStation making sure that they only break even. This is them surviving. They have to do it to survive. They're barely even making bread right now. They're just surviving. Or even not just surviving and breaking even. This is them just making as tiny as possible. Like, they're giving up their salaries left, right, and said this is them just not breaking even. They are starving.
I looked at when Microsoft increased the price of their consoles, and I'm like, that makes a little bit more sense because they're not really selling consoles, you know? Like, they're struggling to sell consoles, and they've just gotten to a point where they're like, listen, we're focused on making a profit on every console we sell, even if it's just a very small volume of consoles. We want to make a profit. And I was like, okay, well, so I don't think Sony's in that boat. Not yet. But here we are, where it's like, you know, now Sony, you know, they're doing the big thing they didn't want to do, a price increase in the US.
You know what's funny about what you just said? You implied that this giant, like, colossal company like Microsoft with astronomical financial value, right, is struggling to sell systems. They're struggling to earn any money, any profit on their consoles. So they need, you almost excused Xbox, it's hilarious. She was like, they need to put the price up. It makes sense because even if they sell fewer consoles, they can pull a bit more money back, even if the volume is smaller, right? So you're making a case that actually Microsoft isn't the bad guy. It's a survival thing. The brand just isn't selling, although I'd say 30 million is still a lot of consoles, bro. Like, but still it isn't selling. And then you said, I mean, PlayStation though, they're not in that boat. PlayStation are thriving, heading to 100 million. And then you said, but here they are, forced to do what they didn't want to do and put the price up in 2025. So why are they doing it then, bro? Well, if they don't want to do it, why would they do it? You couldn't make it up. The levels of stupidity going on in this guy. Anyway, that's enough of MBG. Seriously, I started this video full of energy. Having to listen to him. Jesus Christ. You should do that thing. What's it called? That thing people do where they like talk gently into a microphone and they tap it a little bit. You know, puts people to sleep. What do they call that shit? What do they call it? ASMR. Bruv, you'd be great at it. Like, anyone suffering from insomnia, play the MBG ASMR, out like a light. Comatose, bro. Gone.